Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am Amber from Amber's Books and More, and today I have another book haul. Yes, I have a problem. My other book haul was just a couple of weeks ago. Oh well, what are you gonna do? I like to buy books, and I'm trying to catch up. So let's just get started, shall we? So the first book I have, I got in my monthly subscription for Owl Crate, and that is Caraval, and it came with a letter to the reader and some little goodies, and then it had a signed book plate. So now I have this as a signed book. I haven't gotten started in this. It is about a girl who is in an arranged marriage and wants to go to this Caraval every year, but you have to be invited. And so she's really excited when she gets invited right before her wedding. But when she goes, her sister is kidnapped, from what I gather, and part of the game, and the winner who finds her sister wins one wish, and it says not to take it too seriously because it's just a game, but she kind of does because her sister is involved. So yeah, I got this one in Owl Crate for February, and I'm excited to get started on this one soon. So the next book I have was sent to me by William Morrow, an imprint of HarperCollins Publishing. I used to do book reviews on Blogger, and I got into this Blogger list, and so they still send me books once in a while. This one is called Mongrels by Stephen Graham Jones. This one says so basically this is about a mixed blood a boy that is born an outsider. He lives with his aunt and uncle, and they live in a society that doesn't want them because they're mixed blood or mongrels. And so this is kind of his story. When they sent me the list of ones that they could send me, this one looked really interesting, so I went ahead and grabbed onto this one. But yeah, this one was sent to me, and I hope to get to it soon and post a review. So the next book was also sent to me by William Morrow, and it is called A Certain Age by Beatrice Williams. This is about New York City in the Jazz Age in the 20s. And I haven't really read, I'm just now reading the back of this. Let me read the back and then I'll tell you what it's about. So this looks like it's about a woman that doesn't want to get married or doesn't want to get divorced. I'm not quite sure which, but then her brother marries this rich lady and craziness ensues, and it is raining really hard outside right now. So if you hear it, I'm sorry. The only place I have any kind of light is right here in my bedroom by my window. I'm right next to a major road, right next to DFW Airport, so the planes are going by. If there's extra noise, I'm sorry about that. You could probably hear the water rushing down the drain pipe right now. It's making me really sleepy. But yeah, so this one was sent to me. I'm hoping to get to this one soon as well. Alright, so on to the books that I purchased. The first one I have is The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. I'm really excited to get to this one, and it was on my March TBR because it seems really creepy, and it seems like it's about mental illness, and a lot of people either hate it or love it, and so I'm excited to just get into what I feel about it. Mara Dyer wakes up in a hospital with no memory of how she got there, and I'm guessing this relationship is going to come into play because there's a guy holding her. I can't tell if he's holding her underwater or trying to pull her up from the water, but I know, having dealt with depression, that it does feel like you're underwater and you can't get up a lot whenever you're in these kind of states. So it could go either way. So I'm excited to get to this one soon. And I bought this back in January, but it took so long to get to me because it came from the UK, because I could not find it anywhere over here in the States. So yeah. Alright, so the next one I have is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. This one I featured in my books that I want to give a second chance to when I was in my reading slump, and I purchased this on the Kindle. So I have it on Kindle, but I wanted a physical copy. I saw it at the half-price bookstore used, and it was like $3, so I decided to go ahead and pick this one up. I'm not going to talk about what this one's about. Everybody knows what this one's about. It's pretty famous right now. I don't know if I'll get to this anytime soon. Hopefully maybe April or May, but we'll see. Maybe there's other things I want to read more, so I definitely just picked it up because I have the second book. I wanted to go ahead and get this one anyway. All right, so the next book I picked up is Invincible by Sherilyn Kenyon. This is, so the Dark Hunter books that I talk about all the time are adult urban fantasy books. This one, The Chronicles of Nick, is her young adult series that follows in the same universe. And so Nick starts out as 14 years old and makes his way into adulthood through the series of the books. I've read the first one. I have the first one. And it was kind of, I read that one right after, like right as I was going into my slump, and so I never read the other ones. And now there's like 4 out or 5 out. So I went ahead and picked up the second one when I saw it at the bookstore. And so basically, a Dark Hunter is a person that died in a bad way. Artemis, the goddess of the hunt, hears their cry, gives them a chance to get revenge on the person that killed them, but then they have to work for her for eternity as a Dark Hunter, which is what they do is they basically go after these demons. And so they're like if you took a demon and a vampire and kind of put them together. So they do suck people's blood, but they're not drinking their blood, they're drinking their soul. Their soul, they suck their soul and it keeps them alive. And so if they don't kill them, so the soul, okay, so then the soul goes into them and the soul keeps them alive, but the soul starts to die. So they have to keep drinking more souls in order to stay alive. And they try to kill them as fast as possible, because if they kill them before the soul dies, it releases the soul. If not, then the soul is lost forever. And that's really, that's scary to think about, right? But yeah, it's a really good series of books. And Nick is kind of a helper to the world of people, and he kind of runs errands for them because he can go out into the daylight and they cannot, like vampires. And so yeah, so it's like a young adult series, because now he's 14 or 15 in these, and yeah, so I'm really excited to finish this series because there's so many that I missed in my 5 years off. So all right, so the next book I have is A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. This is a huge television show, which I've never seen. I've heard so many great things about it, and it's high fantasy, and it's adult, of course, but this just intrigues me, so I feel like I want to read it eventually. Maybe not anytime soon, but I figure if I have it on my shelf, I'll keep seeing it, and eventually I'll be like, you know what, fine, I'm going to pick it up. So I don't really want to talk about what it's about, because I don't really want to know what it's all about. I know that there's dragons and things like that, but I don't really want to get much into what it's about, because I want to be surprised as I'm reading it. And these pages are so thin, they're like almost Bible thin, so this is going to be really hard to read without cracking the spine, but I'm going to give it a try one of these days, not anytime soon. So the next few set of books I picked up are a little bit different. So the first one is a book of poetry, Letters from Maine by May Sarton. I picked this up because it said, in poems gathered into 3 sections under the titles, whatever, Sarton's inspiration was a new, brief, and passionate love affair. And I thought, I'm going to pick this up. What better way to write off of is a love affair? What I did not know when I picked this up at the Half Price bookstore is May was lesbian. Had no idea. I didn't know until, so the very first section, Letters from Maine, is one long poem that she wrote to this lover, and it was a very brief love affair, like it says, and she's talking about how much she enjoyed it and how much she misses her and wishes that she could see her again. And it was like, oh my God, this is about a woman. When I realized it, I thought, oh my God, I love this lady so much more. And then so when I looked her up, she died in like the 90s. So this had taken place in years way before the 90s, because she was an old lady when she died. And I was like, she was a lesbian in a time when it was not okay to be a lesbian. And that makes me love her, and I want to read more of her work, because some of these poems are just so beautiful and just are so quick to the point. And there's some that really connected with me a lot, and I love it. I think that everybody should definitely pick up this book of poetry. I got it at the bookstore, Half Price Books. But it's good. It's definitely, now, it's the first actual book of poetry that I've read, and I'm really happy I picked this one up first, because this lady's a very good poet, and I'm really happy that I picked this up. So the next two books that I have, I'm angry that I picked them up. I am angry that I spent my money on them. I am angry that they even freaking exist. This is Blackbird. So this is Blackbird. They're mangas, and this is number one and number two. And it's about a girl that is demons want to eat her or marry her. I don't know. But anyway, I've only read the first one. It was disgusting. I've said it before. I'll say it again. It is not something that younger girls should read, because this guy does not respect her boundaries, grabs her boobs, kisses her, tries to have sex with her, when she completely keeps telling him no, 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 no. And then suddenly she's like, maybe I love him. Maybe he just wants me so much. No. It is never an excuse for a man to touch you in any way that you do not want. I don't care. It's disgusting. I don't even know if I'll ever read these. I paid like $4 for each, and they're trash. I hate them. So the next book I picked up is another manga. I haven't read it yet, but it looks really funny. It's Vampire Cheerleaders, and so it's kind of a mix between Vampire Cheerleaders and Paranormal Mystery Squad, and it looks cute. Hopefully it doesn't have as much disgustingness as the other one, and it's a lot thicker than most mangas because they put 2 in 1. But yeah, I'm excited to get to this because I do love mangas. That one just wasn't a good one to read. If you've never read a manga, don't pick up the other ones. Do not ever pick up the other ones. Okay, so the next 3 books that I have, I actually purchased on Kindle because I just couldn't get my hands on some of this stuff easily, and when I was looking for more manga because I was so mad at the other 2, I went on Amazon, and because I'm a Prime member, they have some free books that you can read for Prime. So I don't know how much this will come across, but the first one I got was called Lumberjanes, and it was Volume 1, Beware the Kitten Holly. This was so short, but it was so cute. It was about these really badass little girls that are like that are kind of like Girl Scouts, but yet lumberjacks at the same time. So there's some spooky things that happen at their camp, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. Now, while it was really cute, I would not continue with the series because it reads very childish. However, if you have a young teenager, 12, 13 years old, that wants to get into graphic novels and mangas, which I don't even think this is a manga, I think it's just a graphic novel. I think I was wrong on that one, but I would highly recommend picking this up. It's got such good messages for young girls, because these girls are totally badass and they are awesome, and I loved this. Like I said, it reads too young for me, and I don't want to pay the money that I can read, and I've read this in 10 minutes, so I definitely recommend it for the younger audiences. So the next one I purchased is a manga, and it's Attack on Titan, and it was another one that was free with can you see that? Another one that was free on the Prime Kindle, and I picked this up because it is manga, and my brother has read these mangas, and he watches the show, and he's obsessed with them, so I figured I'd give it a shot. I haven't read it yet because I have other things, but I definitely want to get to that one soon. So the next one I purchased on Kindle is actually a middle grade, I believe, but Julie over at Pages and Pens is having a read-along Facebook group, and the first one that she is reading is The School for Good and Evil by I'm not going to say this right, Soman Chainani, I don't know, but it looks really cute. I haven't gotten started. I'm so behind. They already started reading March 1st. I need to catch up, but I'm thinking I read pretty quickly, so I'll be able to really fly through it before they have their live show on the 18th. And so yeah, I purchased this one on Kindle. I'm excited to get to this one probably today. So the next book that I purchased recently is the one I'm most excited about, and that is The Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. And you see little Galadriel back here hanging out. So I purchased this because, like I said, I purchased it after reading the first one. I went ahead and purchased second and then pre-ordered this one. I got it the day that it released from Amazon. I'm only on section 2. I had to stop. The first section started out so quickly. Oh my gosh. I cried in the first... What page is this? What page? Like 62 pages, okay? I cried. My anxiety went through the roof. I'm freaking out. I almost don't want to read it because I'm scared of what's going to happen to my favorite characters, and I'm so invested and I need to know, but I'm so anxious about it. Oh my God, this has such a strong start. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's all I can. I'm definitely finishing this soon. But like I said, my anxiety raised so high that I had to stop and say, no, wait, take a breath. I have to mentally prepare myself for this one. But it's going to be my favorite of the series. It's going to be my favorite of life. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. V.E. Schwab is my queen. Okay, last two books, and they are in a series, and they are A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. So I downloaded Audible, and I got 2 free books. So the first one I got, because everybody talks about it, is A Court of Thorns and Roses. I had never read an audiobook before, and so I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't think that I could really get into it, but what I did was I downloaded this coloring book app on my phone, and I have a Samsung Note 5, and so it has, you know, the pen with it, and I was able to draw with the pen and color with the pen, and I got so engrossed in this book, I finished it in 2 days on audiobook. And so I went ahead and purchased the book so I could have it on my shelf, and then I went ahead and purchased, get off of there, I purchased the next book in the series. Let me ask you a question. Why is the second book so much bigger? Oh my gosh. This is the first one, this is the second one. Look how much bigger it is. I mean, holy crud. When I pulled this out, I was like, because I didn't know how big the first one was, because I read it on audiobook, and I was like, holy crap. Holy moly. And then the third book, so the third book comes out in May. So I want to read this one soon. But I'm not in a huge hurry because I know I have to wait till May for the next one. But yeah, I really enjoyed, let me turn around so you can actually see them. I really enjoyed the first book, so I'm really excited about this one. And I'll probably try to get to it sooner rather than later, but maybe like in April. So that is it for this book haul. I definitely need to put a stop on some of the books because I have classes starting soon. I have a history class and an American literature class because I took the first semester off and did late semester classes. And I only have like 2 semesters, like 1.5 semesters left. So like summer and then next semester, and I'll be done with my associate's degree. So I have to read for those classes. So I have to try to get as much done before the 20th of this month because that's when my classes start. But if you see any books in here that you've read or you want to read, let's talk about them down in the comments. If you want to check me out on social media, I have links below. I have a Goodreads, I have a Twitter, and I have an Instagram. And yeah, let's talk some books, okay? Let's do it. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this comment, please give me a thumbs up. That really helps me a lot. And subscribe if you have not. There should be a little head floating here soon. And yeah, so thank you very much for watching. Have a good day wherever you are. Love ya. Bye.